99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the nation's number one talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimiyan Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. I did promise that the last hour of the show we will be talking with the presidential spokesperson. He's the essay to the president on policy and communication. Mr. Daniel Bwala joins us live via Zoom. Now, he's in transit, obviously. We're going to make the best of the time that we have him here and, of course, try to get him to answer most of the questions that are running through our minds. Mr. Bwala, it's so good to have you join us on Hard Facts. Thank you for joining us. I know that you have a busy day, but we appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm just going to jump straight to it because of the time that we have. We're obviously looking at all the things that are happening in the country and people are asking questions. So let me start with the most immediate, the killings in Plateau State. Today we saw the mass burial that took place in Plateau State. And this is one of the two attacks that have happened so far. Over 150 people. Let me date it back to Christmas of 2023 that went into 2024. About 150 people were killed in Plateau State. The Benue State's killings were also very massive. And many people are asking, why has the president not declared a state of emergency in terms of insecurity? Because this is what we've seen happen in River State. There's a state of emergency in River State and people are not being killed. Mass graves are not being dug. Why hasn't that happened in these places that I've mentioned? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to the listeners and viewers. State of emergency is not what you keep or what you bandit or fly around like the wave of the flag. You have to have a specific reason or what you want to achieve to be able to do that. The insecurity in Nigeria is not just limited to Plateau, but to every part of Nigeria. Sadly, it is lately that they begin to rear their heads here and there, but the government is on its toes. The government is working with the state and the local government to deal with the insecurity. Very unfortunate that lives are lost, and we send our condolences to families that lost their loved ones. Because of this heinous attack by undemocratic element. The president had already issued a statement requesting and advising the governor of Plateau State to put political will to this fight. And he emphatically stated that he has advised him prior to this time and suggested to him on ways to deal with this problem by looking at the root causes. And after the president's issuance of the statement, the governor of Plateau also addressed the people of the state and apologized to them for failing them. So I believe that it's a right step in the right direction. Probably he will apply some of the suggestions given to him by the president. But fighting insecurity is a global phenomenon, right? And it's also the duty of government at all levels, federal, state, and at local level. The president is willing and ready at every given time to collaborate with state government and local government and give them all the support that they need to deal with insecurity.
There have been consistent reports on government silence as to some of the similar incidences that have occurred in the South. Last week, there were protests in Ondo State against herders who have been armed and that are killing farmers. There's been a report of the same in Delta State. There's been the same report somewhere in Ebonyi. And one of my callers had called from also the southeast where, these herders come and destroy their farms and then they decided to poison the farms and the cattle were they were all killed. But then the police came to arrest them for poisoning their own farm that have continuously been ravaged by these herders and their cattle. And people are wondering, we saw what happened in Uromi. Immediately, the perpetrators were found. Why is that same urgency not used or seen in the South? We're talking about security agencies and, of course, the might of the federal government. Why is that not seen in the South?
Well, I don't have the details, and I'm not in a position to authenticate or not authenticate the story behind whether or not law enforcement were diligent in dealing with this. But what I do know is that all law enforcement platforms of this country are adjourned to collaborate and cooperate, and also work around the clock in dealing with this insecurity. So we'll be happy to receive, for example, concrete information as to the lackluster attitude of any security agency, because you see, the Nigerian nation is such that sometimes people's intervention and opinion on the matter may not be supported by facts. And in some cases, the facts are such that maybe there is an ongoing investigation in that regard. If you are not careful, you probably, how do I put it? You will misjudge what government is trying to do. There is no justification whatsoever, for not dealing decisively with criminal element. No justification. There is also no law that says that when you find criminal elements who have anointed themselves to kill lives, and they cut across different tribes, religion, and ethnic groups, there is no law that says you should treat them with kids' glove. And law enforcement is on their, the law enforcement platforms. Whether you look at the SSS, the police, the soldiers, and some of the parliamentary organizations, are on their foot working every day. What we need as the people is to assist by providing intelligence. Intelligence is very important, because law enforcement can only work for as far as they know about the situation in that place, in those places. So local intelligence is key, community engagement, and then community coming together to resist all this incursion is also very pivotal.
I just want to push you a little further. You're saying that, maybe some investigations. Are you implying that when it comes to the North, the investigations are ongoing and they're slower, but then it's faster and quicker, swifter, and you can fish out the perpetrators in the South? Secondly, when you talk about coming together, I heard the National Security Advisors say the people must rise up. Enough is enough. But how rise up and do what exactly?
So the first one, from the first point, this is where sometimes I have a bit of quarrel with members of the media. What do you say? Are you saying that in the Northeast and in the South? First of all, I never said. So you insinuated, but you want to present it as if I said it. I think we have a duty, even as journalists.
Just for clarity, because I asked a very plain question, and you said, well, we don't want to speculate. We're not speculating. I gave you facts about stories that have been reported in the news, and of course the response that these places got. And you said maybe some of these things might be under investigation. So I'm asking, for the Plateau killings, for the Benue killings, we have had information, real-time information put out there. Are you saying that investigations are still going on in those places?
What information have you heard? What information have you heard?
No. I'm telling you about the killings and the actions that we've seen play out. So normally, of course, the police IG has said that there's not enough manpower to deal with. But if the people decide that they want to protect themselves, is that not tantamount to lawlessness? Does that not mean that?
You see, does that not mean?
Go ahead, please.
While you're trying to clarify your question, you confused the whole situation.
I didn't.
I want to answer definite and specific question, not for the optics or for rhetorics. Because national security is a serious matter.
We all know that.
What exactly is the question that you are trying to say north and south? What are you implying?
I asked you a question. I said the people in Uromi were quickly fished out. The so-called perpetrators of the killing of hunters, these people who were hunters, we still do not know the identity of these so-called hunters. The people of Uromi have reported many killings, the kidnappings. The kings in those areas have also said they have been kidnapped, and they had decided that they were going to stand up for themselves. They asked for some form of information, according to them, from these hunters. Hold on, sir, please. Let me land so you understand my question. But then the perpetrators of these acts have been fished out. I'm asking the same question for the North, especially Plateau and Benue. How easy or why is it difficult to fish out these same perpetrators in the North? And you said it might be under investigation. And I'm saying, for how long?
I never said it might be under investigation.
That's what you said. You said so that we do not, you said for clarity purposes, so that we do not miss.
Here. If you ask a question, allow me to answer.
Well, I'm trying, because you said I confused you. I'm trying to be clear. I just want to be clear.
when you notice that when you're asking a question, I'm quiet until you finish. So when I'm answering, keep quiet, let me finish.
Go ahead.
What was your question?
I just asked you the question.
What was the question?
You said that we, the media, like to speculate. And I said, these are not speculations. I'm asking a direct question. It was easy to pick out the perpetrators in Uromi. How come it's not easy to pick out the perpetrators in the north, especially for Plateau and Benue killings?
Right. So if you are familiar with the workings of law enforcement, and I will say it slowly so it can sink in. If you are familiar with the operations and the workings of law enforcement, it is not a case of in Mushin, it has happened in 2 days. Therefore, in Ilupeju, it has to happen in 2 days. I want it to be very clear. It is not a ping pong. It is one. It consists of one, the criminal element, investigation part of it, law enforcement, intelligence supplied by the people, and then the whereabouts of the criminals. And let me explain what I mean by that. If in Uromi, the people were within a geographical area, and as a result, they were able to fish them out in, say, 2-3 days. And then in those, are you suggesting that in Jos, they will also be in geographical area? I think your question should be more about finding solutions than being divisive of saying north and south. There is an insecurity situation in the country. What effort is government making in dealing with insecurity? And you probe the government to find out the effort they are making. Stop the idea of north and south. Members of the press must be responsible enough to play their role in dealing with insecurity in Nigeria.
Great.
It is never and will never be about north and south. It will be about criminal element and whether government is responsible and responsive, please.
Lovely. I want to ask my question again, because the reason why we went there was the people are saying that there's a slow response to the killings. Like I said, these killings have dated back to even probably when I was way younger. And the response to the issue is the same. How do we find these perpetrators? Who are these perpetrators? People want actionable plans. You're saying intelligence is important. We all know this. Intelligence gathering is important, and it's a two-way street. What is the challenge that you think, as a government spokesperson and you as a politician who has been playing in the sector of governance, and you also are from Borno State, sir. You're also from Borno State, which also has a different problem, which is Boko Haram. Why is it so difficult for us to be able to fish out these elements? Help us to understand, because the average Nigerian is tired of the numbers that are bandied in the news every day. 160, 54, 100.
Until, are you through with the question?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. Until the last 1 month or thereabout, in the last 1 year and plus, we have not had insecurity in this manner. We have, in fact, dealt with insecurity in such a way that the most part of this country, you only see skirmishes of incidents which can never be out of any government anywhere in the world, even in America and England. As you and I are talking now, there must be one criminal activity here and there. But persistent insecurity is what the government must stop. And lately, we have seen them rearing their heads in every part of Nigeria. There is no part of Nigeria that is excluded or that is immune from criminal element. And it's because, one, you asked of the problem. There is what we call crisis economy. In the past, people commit crimes either based on ideology or based on religion or because of their evil heart. Now we have what we call crisis economy, where people see that by being a part of this crisis industry, they make money. One of them is kidnapping. Kidnapping is no longer a phenomenon that is practiced by a certain place, certain people, or in a certain location. People see that when they kidnap, they get ransom. Every criminal element in Nigeria is involved in it. You are fine, educated, non-educated, all tribes and all religion. So one of the ways we deal with kidnapping is that, one, the local community should help law enforcement by providing information that is necessary. If you suspect anybody in your locality, you suspect strange people in your area, you should be able to inform the law enforcement timeously. One. Two, organize yourself as a local, because historically, there is no community in Nigeria that does not have one form of vigilante or the other. This is the time to ensure that vigilantes are empowered, they are motivated, and they are given all the necessary support that they need in identifying criminal elements in their locality. Government needs that to use it in fighting insecurity. 2, politicization of security must be dealt with. In other words, if you belong to a political party that is other than the party in government, don't sit by and watch criminal activity and assume that way it will delegitimize that government and therefore you don't care. Because that criminal activity can result in the death of your loved ones or people you care about or even the Nigerian people. 3, law enforcement must also be very, very diligent in their fight against insecurity. And what I mean by that is that if you have any information as to the indolence, lackluster attitude of law enforcement, say it. I give you an example of the case in Plateau State that the president advised that he should be able to use political will. I give you instances of political will. Every governor in Nigeria has security briefing from these elements. 1, there is a director of SSS in the state, there is a commissioner of police in the state, there is a military component, and then the paramilitary. This individual hold meetings with the governor. That's why they call him chief law officer of the state. And they give security briefings about situation. The governor in every state must be very firm in working with the intelligence that is supplied. The security votes that they get, they must use it effectively in buying all that is necessary. If you go to states in the southern Nigeria, they buy cars, they buy equipment, they buy surveillance systems, they buy drones. They use security vote in aiding the law enforcement in the fight against insecurity. We urge and beg governors in Nigeria to use their security vote adequately. Number 4, the governors also must be firm in their position. Don't be caught up in the politicization of the security fight. If it is a communal clash between one tribe against another or one religion against another, as a governor, don't take sides. Stay firmly on the side of the Constitution and on the side of righteousness in accordance with the law. Don't tolerate, harbor, or support any of those groups because you are sworn to the Constitution to take care of everybody in your state. And because Nigeria is open, people from different parts of Nigeria, they come and work. Our people in thick forests, it is the time for communities to gather themselves and find some form of security network that will observe activities in the forest, give the information timeously to the law enforcement for the purpose of arresting this individual. This is one of the many more areas that government is having a challenge on its own alone to fight insecurity. That's why collaboration between federal, state, local government and community is key.
I like that you've taken me to my next question. You said Nigeria is open. The porousness of our borders is obviously one of the biggest problems that we have. I have reported in the space of 10 years the number of guns that have come into the country. Nobody knows who's bringing these guns in. Nobody knows where these guns are going. And the ones we see are just a tiny chunk of the guns that have already gone through into the country. That's one. Secondly, you talked about governors having security meetings. Yes, they are chief security officers of the estates, but who do these security officials report to? Who do they take their directives from? Which takes me to the question of Which takes me to the question of state policing. Is it not high time that we domesticate this issue of state policing? Maybe that will help us, because we can't be talking about intelligence gathering and we have a few number of policemen in different places. We have a very thin number of soldiers, whether we like it or not. Not enough to police this country as it should be. Shouldn't we be addressing those issues, especially the issue of borders?
Sister, one, the borders are porous. Nigeria is a very large country with large landmass. Some of the states in Nigeria are bigger than countries in Europe. Niger State alone, according to the report that we once had, is bigger than a particular country in Europe. The landmass in Sambisa was one of the reasons why Boko Haram found refuge there. We have limited security personnel in Nigeria. We don't have up to 400,000 military personnel. We don't have up to 500,000 police systems. So we already are short in terms of manpower. Hence the need for community policing, hence the need for participation of citizens. One point, if a governor, say for example, receive 2 billion or 3 billion in a month of security votes, Now, think for a moment that these monies are used in buying equipment for surveillance, because the world has advanced to a point where you can actually see crime far above, afar, and then be able to prepare. If communities have drone systems that do surveillance for them at night, surveillance during the day, and the drones are not very expensive to the point that it cannot be captured by the by the security vote. Now, assuming every governor is investing in the surveillance system equipment, which means that even when people are sleeping in the state, there will be some form of
I'm so sorry to talk over you. We have to go on a very short break, just a quick break, and we'll come back for you to complete your statement.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Help build strong bones with Vitabiotics Osteocare from the UK. The supplement that's not just calcium, but also contains scientific cofactors better absorption into the bones. Nourish your bones, teeth, and muscles with Osteocare. In Nigeria, we need calcium for our children through adult life and especially for our seniors to help prevent stunted growth, broken bones, and osteoporosis. Osteocare scientific formula, not just calcium for strong bones from Vitabiotics UK, available in pharmacies around you.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info Daily Winnings is now over 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays, and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Your chances of winning are the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Remember to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
As we gather to celebrate his resurrection,
as we share in his grace,
as families come together,
Spar brings you the joy of Easter with amazing offers on everything you need for your celebration.
This Easter, Spar Market is bringing hearts together with amazing offers. Enjoy up to 50% off on special Easter items, from ingredients to thoughtful gifts for loved ones. Available from 11th to 30th April 2025 at Spar Market stores nationwide. Spar Market, there for you.
Now so I did on my own. Now a message enter my phone. Fiam. I can't click Fiam. Now so my money for account go. Fiam. Hey. If to say na Airtel you they use, then for first alert you before you click Airtel they identify spammers. Then alert their customers with AI powered service to make sure say you know for Mugu for Wuruwuru scam messages. No charges, no subscription needed. Me self they go join Airtel. Fiam.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
It's the greatest for me. Onga makes sure cooking fun. Happiness, we go fill your belly. Enjoy the taste and aroma daily.
Onga for great taste and aroma. There is something about good news. You can't keep it to yourself.
Guys, it has finally happened.
There is something about joy. You can't keep it to yourself. And there is something about the rich taste of Lipton. You can't keep it to yourself.
when you get something you enjoy, you share. Lipton Yellow Label. Tea so good, you want to share.
Is that Alfie playing football in the rain?
It's Toby Chio.
My goodness.
When did he grow up? That's it with kids, though.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Life is always full of wahala, but there is music, passion, feelings, and good vibes. Take a ride with InDrive app to get there on your own terms. You decide what your life will be full of and choose a fair price for this ride. InDrive. The InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator is not a taxi service. Find more information at www.indrive.com.
What is the square root of pi by 4?
4.0.
Wow, that's my girl. The Cowbellpedia Mega Minds is here. Don't miss a single moment of the action in the Cowbellpedia Mega Minds 2025 edition.
Over the 14 weeks, viewers also stand a chance to win prizes when they participate from home.
Tune in to Cowbellpedia Mega Minds on Africa Magic or visit our website at cowbellpedia.tv to learn more.
Terms and conditions apply. Cowbell. So good, so smart.
She started chasing all the bags. Come and secure another bag with the Jolly Just Come Welcome offer. Download BetKing app and register today using the promo code FREEBETS to enjoy your 100 Naira instant sign-up bonus and other exciting offers. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
This is Hot Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
We're back and we still have the essay to the president, Mr. Daniel Bwala, with us via Zoom. In a bit, we're going to let him go, but we're still talking about insecurity across the nation and other issues. But before we went on that break, he was still trying to land on his ideas. And then, of course, we'll move from that to other issues. Mr. Bwala, you were talking about state governors, and I did say that most of the issues that state governors have to deal with is purely on paper. The security chiefs still need to respond or take orders from Abuja. So you were trying to explain to us what the governors must do. Please go ahead, sir.
Right. So even with the point you raised about security, people taking their orders from Abuja, I think is a fallacy. And we always hear that kind of talk from governors in the past, but not anymore. Where a governor will tell you that he is just a chief security officer in paper because he doesn't have control over the law enforcement. I don't think that is an accurate representation of the situation as it is. Every governor has federal agent in the state at his disposal. The director of SSS gives you briefing and takes orders from the governor on how to deal with insecurity in that state. So also the commissioner of police and the military component. So the idea that they don't give directives or orders are not taken from them, I don't think is accurate. You can ask any governor, and I challenge any governor to come out and say that they cannot control or direct the law enforcement agents in their state. That is one. Two, you as a state government can also mobilize this federal agent in your state. Take, for example, if let's say for a law enforcement in your state, it can be police, army, or SSS, they don't have enough equipment, assuming you have a security vote that you can complement their effort, which is what you are seeing in some states in the southern Nigeria, especially in Lagos. There are private sector people who are operating in state who also do corporate social responsibility. You can partner as a state with them in providing this key element. So we are not saying that state governor will carry AK-47 or give AK-47 to the citizens of the state. But the state government can provide the equipment or the finances that this law enforcement need in bringing equipment that will help in nipping it in the bud. The world over, surveillance system, drones, is 70% of intelligence collection mechanism. Because these criminal elements, they don't come to our towns when we are ready, when we are awake. They come when we are sleeping, or they take us unawares. This is what drone can do. By seeing them from afar, by processing their capacity and capability, and then preparing the law enforcement to match them. This is key. How many states of the Federation have this drone system? How many states of the Federation have financed and have complemented the federal agents in their state by providing enough vehicles, right, and enough equipment for the purpose of fighting insecurity? So I think that we should begin to interrogate what they're doing with the security vote. Because as for the federal government, the president of Nigeria is ready anytime at any beck and call to come to the aid of the governors if he has given them more money in the area of the economy. Because apart from the increased allocation from time to time, he gives them money. Sometimes when he's approaching, make the commitment. So if the president can indicate that willingness to collaborate, how much more on matters that is most important, which is the security of life and the welfare of the people.
Because of time, your time, my time, and of course I want to bring the listeners in. I want to quickly fact check you before we move on to talk about other issues. You said that there's not been any attack in this manner that we're seeing in the past 1 year until last month. Now, I'd like to fact check you quickly. Reports show that there have been many, especially in Benue. Benue security chief denied mass killings. Terrorists responded with community massacre 2 days later. This was published on the 19th of February this year. At least 30 people were killed in Benue State. This was a report on August 9, 2024 by Reuters. 2,600 people were killed in Benue attacks in 1 year. This was a report by Amnesty International. About 2,600 people, mostly women and children, were killed following attacks on 50 Benue communities between January 2023 and February 2024. This was another report by Amnesty International. I think Premium Times also reported that story. 11 people were killed in a fresh attack in Benue, still in 2024. Channels Television also, December 26, 2024, reported that story. Many people were also killed in attacks in Benue again on the 25th of November, 2024. Just wanted to fact check.
You see? No, you have not. Unfortunately,
no. But you made a general statement on air, and I have to tell you as a journalist. No, I will let you, sir. But you're just saying that I didn't fact check you. I just did. 1 year. You said in the past 1 year.
To complete the statement. Allow me to complete.
But I wasn't done. I wasn't done before you. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't done.
Okay,
you interjected.
Okay.
So I was trying to tell you that you made a statement saying that there had not been any this form of killings in the past year until the last 1 month, and I needed to fact check you.
In this manner, you see, that's why we say that journalists have the highest.
So you're saying that the information that I just gave you was not in in the same manner.
Once you don't allow the person on the other side to talk, then you are not actually interviewing.
Please answer.
You are imposing your opinion. Good.
Go ahead and answer.
What I said we have not had insecurity of this manner that has happened in the last 1 month, in the last 1 year. Now, you say you want to fact check me, and you gave me 1,000 story in one state. Do you understand the meaning of in this manner? Let me explain. In this manner, for example, what has happened in the last 1 month, you find concurrence of insecurity cases in Benue, in Edo, in Borno, in Kogi, and in these places. That is this manner. So if you want to fact check me, as you're saying, you should be able to provide information about similar insecurity in the states I have mentioned. Then what you are doing is that you are fact checking me on what I said in this manner. But everything you mentioned is in one state. How do you correlate that with what I said? We've not had insecurity in this manner in the last 1 year. Well, you see this type of journalism.
Let's move on. Let's move on. And I do not appreciate. I do not appreciate it when politicians talk down on journalists. But let's move on. Let's move on. No, we need to move on because of time. I have so many questions I want to ask you. No. I have too many questions I need to ask you, Mr. Bwala, so that we don't dwell on this. This is not what.
You are not prepared to listen to me. I end it and go.
No. I'm saying that we need to move. You said I didn't fact check you, so I have other questions.
I have not finished talking.
Well, yeah, but I do not appreciate you berating journalism. Please, you can't make your points without do that.
The same way I do not appreciate you misquoting what I said. Very important. I do not.
I didn't
If you look at my life, I never sleep on my right to call out journalists who are caught up in this trend of catchphrase and buzzwords. for the purposes of training social media, there is a higher responsibility that mainstream media, whether radio or TV, has, and it is called fair and accurate reporting. Very important. Whenever
so what are the inaccuracies in the numbers and the stories that we gave you?
The inaccuracy is that you said you want to fact check me, and the information you gave relates to one state. And when I talked about we've not had the insecurity in this manner, I mentioned at least 4 states. That is the inaccuracy.
Okay. Let's move on to talk about what's happening in River State.
Do you now correct yourself?
Mr. Bwala, can we just move on, please? Because Lagosians want to talk to you.
You don't have the humility
again,
to accept what you're
saying. What you're saying, I'm not wrong. I put it to you that I am not wrong. But let's move on because we need to talk about River State.
You mentioned insecurity in one state.
I said especially in Benue State.
In this.
I said especially since we want to play with semantics and Nigerians are very eager to speak to you. So can we move on?
We cannot move on until we get it right.
Okay, so let's stay on it.
Journalists have a duty. Good. Journalists have a duty to say, I am wrong. Sorry, I misquote you. Or even if you don't want to use the word sorry.
No, I didn't.
Okay. You have this thing is recorded. I said we are.
So are you saying that because a huge number of people were killed in one state, it's not enough insecurity for 1 year? Because you said it hasn't happened as it has happened in the last 1 month.
Don't import interpretation.
I'm probing you. I'm probing you. I'm saying, are you not satisfied with the number of people that have been killed, especially in Benue State in 2024? So you don't categorize it.
Deflection.
No. Please, sir, please answer my questions. I did answer you. I did answer your questions. Hold on. Are you saying, okay, let's talk facts. So is it not a fact that people were killed in Benue State to the degree that people are being killed in Plateau State in the last 2? What we're doing, you're not answering my question, Mr. Bwala.
Accuracy of what I said, and if you are fact checking me, be accurate about it. If you are wrong and you are corrected,
again,
be able to be bold.
Again, I am being accurate. I am being accurate. I am not deflecting, Mr. Bwala. Okay, so let me react the question. Let me react the question. Okay, I'm asking that the killings that have happened in Plateau in the space of 1 and 2 weeks, is it not? Are you saying that what happened in Benue in the last 1 year, the statistics I gave you, is not enough to categorize what you have already said in this manner? Because we're using your line in this manner. You're saying that the killings that happened in Benue that I have reported to you, according to Premium Times, to Reuters, to the Daily Trust newspaper, you're saying that it cannot be in the same measure that it has happened in Plateau State. Let's just leave out Borno. Borno governor, your state governor, has said he's losing grounds to Boko Haram. But we're talking about banditry here in Plateau State. Are you saying that it is not important, 160 plus people that have been killed in Benue State? Are you saying that it's irrelevant, or you just want to score a point with me?
Can't believe that you are this deflective. I can't believe it. It is hard to believe, and I'm sure your listeners know the point. See, anybody can make mistake, but when you do, be courageous enough to say, I'm sorry, I misjudged you. The point is, I said we have not had insecurity in this manner until the last 1 month. The insecurity in this manner are one. Concurrently, there was insecurity in Edo, in Benue, in Borno, in Kogi. There was even a report in Oshun, as well as this other place, I think Ondo also. They happen within a space of 1-2 months. I am saying we have not had insecurity in this manner in the last 1 month. You say, you could have just proceeded to the next question. You say, I want to...
But you want to dwell on this question, and I have so many questions, Mr. Bwala. Can we move on to the other question? You will not even allow somebody to...
You ask me a question, I'm answering. You ask me a question, I'm
Mr. Bwala, we have just 5 minutes. Can you please get to the point so that we can ask you other... People are calling. They want to talk to you, please.
Unfortunately, you don't have other questions to ask. So it is nice. We can...
Can people ask you questions, please? Because of time, and you have a meeting to go to. Can we please ask you some questions? The listeners want to ask you questions.
What question?
The listeners want to ask you questions. Can we get to that part? Because the phone lines are buzzing and we don't have time. And you have a meeting.
That's why I asked one question. I'm listening to you.
Because it looks like you really want to dwell on me. So let's go. The phone lines are open, Lagos. Let's ask Mr. Bwala some questions before we let him go. 0201-277-0993, 0201-465-7190. Let's go. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Maryann, good evening.
Good evening.
To
60
Mr.
seconds,
Bwala.
quickly.
The question I want to ask him, did he listen to Kashim Shettima 2023 at the NBA conference, what he said about insecurity and what is happening today? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Maryann.
Your line is breaking. Please call us back. Please. Thank you very much. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts. Oh, dear. Hello.
Hello.
Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Now, I want to ask Mr. Bwala. I want to greet you very dearly, and I thank you for responding to your question. My question to him is this: is it not right if the government is not ready to perform? It can state for emergency decline on the plateau? That's number one. Number two, the matter of the plateau is beyond military intervention. Why can't the governor call all the stakeholders at round table talk to ask them the question? What is the problem?
Sorry, Mr. Bwala is not the governor. Why are you asking him about the governor? Is he going to respond on behalf of the governor?
No, he can still live with Mr. President to tell the governor to organize those community districts that you have for many, many years. How are they going to tackle it? That's my question.
Okay, I don't think you were listening to Mr. Bwala because he spoke about governors and what governors should do. But let's move on. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Hello? Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Maryann.
You're not a lady. You're calling the ladies' line. Please don't call the ladies' line if you're not a lady. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, this is Charles from Ojo.
Charles, go ahead. 60 seconds,
Yeah,
please.
the question I want to ask that Oga is it difficult for Nigerian army to go to Plateau and other places where we have insurgency to recover those villages that have taken over? What would it take them to go and move those people away and recover those villages for the original villagers, the way they did during the Biafran War? They recovered many Biafran lands. Is it difficult? If this is happening in East now, it will be so cheap for them. Let them go and recover the villages. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Bwala, do you want to answer the first three questions? Even though the second question that was about the Plateau governor, I don't know if you want to respond to.
The second, because it was breaking, but the first and this last one, I heard it. The first one asked if I heard what the vice president said at the NBA. Yes, I heard. At the NBA, he promised to fight insecurity. The government responsibility is to fight insecurity. The Constitution says the security of life and the welfare of the people is the primary responsibility of government. And this federal government of President Bola Tinubu, day and night is fighting, dealing with this insecurity situation. That's why over the last 18 months since he took over, we were able to suppress insecurity to the barest minimum, except for incidences here and there. But in the past 1-2 months, we have seen the reoccurrence of insecurity in a hydra-headed form. And this is part of government's responsibility at all times to make all the effort. In the beginning of the interview, she asked me what are the challenges of federal government. I laid them out. The areas of partnership with the state, local community, investment in the intake, the limitation of military and the law enforcement agents around the country. I will now use that to answer this last question. Recovery of land. It is a duty of government at every given time that the residents of places are dislodged. It is a duty of government to restore the people back to their homeland. And it is non-negotiable because that land is hereditary, that land is historic, and that land has rich heritage. But what we have as a limitation in Nigeria, like I said when we began, is that we have less than 400,000 soldiers in Nigeria, and the hydra-headed nature of insecurity in different parts of the country, you distribute soldiers in all those places. So because of the distribution of the soldiers in places and the need for soldiers to play their primary role in guarding territorial infrastructure of the country and territorial integrity of the country, you'll find that there will be limitation of the number of soldiers you can get at every given time to fight in a place. So, for example, if they are in Jos, they will be required to be in Benue. They will be required to be in Osun. They will be required to be in different parts of the country, and they will be required to be in every state of the federation. With the limited number, part of our agenda as a government is to expand military presence by incorporating other.
In the southwestern Nigeria, they introduced these security outfits. Some of the states are financing that thing adequately to deal with insecurity in their forests. There are other states that are yet to pick it. And my suggestion to everyone listening today is that the effort of the federal government can be complemented to a large extent if the state government, and some are actually doing it, use their security board adequately in assisting the federal agents and agencies in their respective states in dealing with insecurity. Fighting for insecurity is the collective responsibility of everybody.
Okay. I have a quick question because you talked about, laying claim to land. And I mentioned to you earlier that your state governor, Professor Zulum, has said that they're losing ground to Boko Haram. Now, Senator Alin Dume, who's a strong ally of your administration, a member of the All Progressive Congress, also your brother from your state, has publicly accused the presidency of nepotism in his appointment. He said that 98% of the appointees are from the Southwest. What's your response? He also claimed that this is alienating the North. Is Tinubu's administration building government of national unity, or is it just rewarding loyalty of his friends in the Southwest?
The duty of every government is to administer the Constitution. When a president takes the oath of office, he swore by the Constitution to uphold the Constitution, promote and protect it. The provision of the Constitution says the government of the Federation of Nigeria must be run in a manner that it will reflect the principles of federal character, so that no part of the country will be left out or there will be disloyalty. The government of President Bwala Tinubu is reflecting the principles of federal character in the administration of the government. Earlier today, I granted an interview on channel, had a hard copy, and I told them that the government of the Federation consists of federal government, state government, and local government. And also you look at the other part, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So when you put this component together, they form the federal government. And the Constitution says they must reflect the principles of federal character. Part of the complaint that people are giving, they are talking about an executive branch of government, isolating other ones to say that area must be reflected. I agree. There is every state of the federation has a minister. There are ambassadors that are coming out, agency headquarters from across the country. So the constitutional requirement has been satisfied by the president. When a president satisfies the minimum, what we call the minimum provision of the Constitution, anything on top of it is based on his discretion on how he wants to govern. And a few days ago, I gave a scenario to Shehu Nokimbaloye on channel television. I said, what part of the country is most hit by insecurity? It is the northern Nigeria. I recall when Ihe Jirika was the either chief of army staff or defense staff during the fight against Boko Haram under Jonathan. There was a time in Borno State he was being accused of mass killing. They even said he's carrying out the revenge of the Biafra. And it is mischief. But they were able to do that because somebody who is not from their area is fighting insecurity in their area. So since then, if you have noticed, successive presidents, they appoint key people in those areas that fit the purpose. So in northern Nigeria, you see that whether in Buhari or in Ashwaju, majority of the people in security platforms are from the north, so they can deal with the situation in the north. Then the economy, the commercial nerve of Nigeria is in the southern Nigeria. Even the northerners, their business interest is in the south. It makes sense if, for example, having made the requirement, there are additional people who are southerners that are occupying economic places in the southern Nigeria. The vice president is the chairman of the economic council. So when politicians, I would have loved that this thing was raised by neutral Nigerians, because I always love responding to Nigerians that don't have affiliation. Their question usually is genuine, based on what they are going through, and they are very, very satisfied if you give them satisfactory answer.
So are you saying that the appointments are balanced?
I'm not finished. When a politician from another political party wants to denigrate the governing party, they ask questions not because they want answer. They ask questions because they want to. So no matter the answer you give to them, they will not be satisfied. But this is basically my submission, that the government of the Federation under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is run in a manner that it has reflected the principles of federal character.
So it is balanced to you, and it's totally balanced to you. Okay.
The president has satisfied the provision of the Constitution.
Well, I want to thank you so much. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent.
Let me add this so that you can have a perspective.
10 seconds. We have to go.
There is what is called constitutional provision, and there is what is called ethical expectation. The president has satisfied the Constitution, but people have their ethical expectation. Okay. And your expectation might be different from my expectation.
We have to go. Mr. Daniel Bwala, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you.
More talk, more right after this.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.